Hi guys, and welcome to another Train Sim 2022 video. Today, just a heads up, there's some guys doing some tree surgery out front of my house. It might be a little bit loud at points in this video, but I do apologise. But we'll carry on. Today we are taking a trip up the Lickey Incline on DTG's XC route, cross city route. This is a scenario by Golden Goldsmith Scenarios. It's available over on alanthomsonsim.com and it's called 80's Lickey Banker. So we'll get set up and I'll explain all as we're going through it. It's a good scenario. It's only about 20 minutes. It's a nice cool run. So Lickey Bankers, welcome, set up, and as soon as the Newquay Birmingham New Street service has stopped at Bromsgrove, use Control Tab to pass the signal and buffer up to the rear of that service. You will need to couple. So you need to have auto coupling turned off for this. I have it off anyway, but just make sure you do. That is listed in the scenario requirements and everything anyway. Right, so let's get the 37 set up. Cancel you on. Then I want my headlights on, dimmer up to full, and then we're about good to go. So master key in, into engine only, and we will wait for this service to pull in. I made a mistake doing this on stream where I buffered up, but when I coupled it rolled back, so I need to remember to have my brake on to stop it rolling back. Otherwise I don't think it works properly because I didn't get a horn to say to go. So as you can see, it's called 80's Bank for a reason. This is set in the 80s. I don't know, probably mid-80s, early mid-80s I think. I don't know when the Lickey Bankers were 37s. For those of you that don't know, what is banking? So banking is when you use another locomotive at the rear of the train to assist a train at the front up an incline, basically, or even along a flat if it needed to. In real life, they wouldn't actually be coupled. This practice still does happen today on the Lickey sometimes. I'm not sure how often anymore, but it does sort of happen. I think there's 3 66s still in the banking pool for DB Cargo. I'm not sure the 66s anyway. I'm not sure how often they still happen, but I reckon we might be able to get a nice screenshot out of that, you know, with those, with that DMU about to pass. Nah, we'll get another shot. Right, I think that one we can safely say is there. Let's get our brake off. Control R, no, Shift R, isn't it? Just R. We'll get there in the end. And forward. And then we want to do Control Tab. The reason it's Control Tab is because the scenario thinks we're going in reverse at the moment. Change that to 91, and then we'll get 10%, which is what we need, even though a lot of this is going to be in 100% full throttle, so we'll not worry too much. So of course in the 80s this wouldn't have been electrified. It was early 90s, cross city electrification, wasn't it? Late 80s, early 90s actually. Could have been very early 90s. I think electric services were sort of a little bit delayed due to some of the issues with the 323s, I think, at the start. So whilst the route's not exactly prototypical for the era, it's still a good laugh, this scenario. Went down well on stream as well. Golden Goals scenarios are always got some nice little quirky bits in them, which are always well done in these scenarios. You always should read the manuals for them though. Don't tab anything you shouldn't. This one specifically said don't change cabs unless you're told to. That sort of thing. Too fast, too fast, too fast, too fast, too fast. Oops. We hit it a little bit hard there because I was a bit screenshot happy. So let's try that coupling up procedure again, shall we? So last time I messed it up because I didn't have my brake on. And now it's because I bumped it a few metres ahead of the platform. That was a bit naughty. Wait for the lead driver's horn to sound around 16, 13, 15. I don't know if it will now because I've moved the consist again. So again, I've messed this up, but you'll get the picture of it. Before assisting them up the Lickey, after your banking loco have reached the summit marker, which you'll see on the HUD, set your throttle to full power and then uncouple whilst on the move from the rear of the train. Immediately brake and ease off to stop at signal Bravo Alpha 3598. In real life, the banking loco would not be coupled, so uncoupling on the move should allow the mainline train to pull away and continue onto New Street. So again, like I was saying, you wouldn't actually be coupled in real life, but just train sim limitations, we will be. So we'll sort of wait and see if we get the horn. I'm not sure that we will because I've moved the train. But we'll go at 13:15. And then we'll get powering right up there. It's the final countdown to Lidu. We're a bit nervous now. It might work, it might not. I wasn't expecting to mess it up as much as I already have. I do apologise. It worked. And I overloaded. Come on. So we want to try and get as much speed to get up that incline as we can, really. So I'm going to keep the amps high. Cool, we even got it to actually do a bit of speed in there. That's a something I wasn't expecting. I didn't get to do that in the video. So as you see now, we're on 1 in 38. That's a fair climb. It is, I think, the steepest mainline gradient, if I remember rightly. Let me just... So the climb was just over 2 miles, an average gradient of 1 in 37 or 2.65% between Bromsgrove and Blackwell near Bark Green. It is on the railway line between Birmingham and Gloucester, grid reference, blah, blah, blah. Lickey Incline is the steepest sustained adhesion worked gradient on a British standard gauge railway. Climbs into Birmingham to south over the Bunter geological formation. 1 or 2 exposures are visible from the trackside, and it passes half a mile away from the Lickey Hills, a well-known local beauty spot in Birmingham. What? No, some parts of Birmingham, outside of Birmingham, are lovely. So, yeah, it's still replaced by 37s, Hymex. Anything else? First generation DMUs were somewhat underpowered and climbed the bank often a little above walking pace, especially as they aged. It was not unknown for them to need to be rescued by a banker. The more powerful modern DMUs negotiate the line with little speed reduction, although it remains the rule that at least half of the engines on a 220 or a 221 must be working in order to ascend. Regular banking of passenger trains ceased in the summer of 1988, when the Bristol to Scotland sleeper was modified to have 2 portions from Poole to Plymouth joining at Birmingham. Many current freight trains still need to be banked, however since 2003 DB Cargo used dedicated Class 66 locomotives, which is 66055 and 057 and 059. These are modified with air release swing away Buckeye couplers and a downward facing light to assist nighttime buffering up. So there you go. So it is still used. So this is us not far off Summit now. So because there's no actual key for keyboard command for uncoupling in TS, I have to do it via the HUD. Unless somebody knows a magic key that I don't know about. And I'm guessing it's when I reach the summit marker. I did this last time. I think it's when I reach the summit marker, not the lead loco. Or is it? Let's just be cautious and do it now. Oh, I did this to me last time. It wouldn't let me uncouple. There we go. That's a cool thing to be doing in Train Sim, isn't it? That is a cool thing to be doing in Train Sim. If you look back at my channel, you will see that I've done a banking scenario on XC route with a 66 before, pushing a 70 up here, but it's not as good as this one. Just something fun about it, I think. Put us in the marker, and then we are reversing here. Change direction in cabs and head back to Bromsgrove next siding where both locos are stabled ready for the next banking duties. And then we'll go through the same setup procedure. And there's something quite cool that passes us in a second, so I'm hoping to show you that as well. Timber's full. Alright. There is something very cool about driving the unrefurbished 37s. Maybe I was just late last time. There's a 45 that comes past with a container train. I don't know if we're going to be held for it or not. Yeah, I think we will be, to be fair. Well, we've got the shunt, haven't we? Yeah. And then we've got the red. In the Blackwell engine lie-by. It's a weird one, isn't it? Lie-by. You're so used to saying lay-by, as in roads, as in lay-bys at the side of roads. Oh, I think that might be that 45 rumbling beside us. Or is it the wood chipper outside? Oh no, it's not here yet. He's got the green. God, I must have been so late the last time doing this. Here it comes. Try and get the screenshot with the 45 in it as well. Then, of course, I'm going to be following that down, the Lickey. I'm sure we've got, so I suppose he's trying to keep the requirements down, but I'm sure we've got some older container flats. Don't know what pack they're from though. And the old white and red Freightliner ones. I know they weren't all like that, but in the 80s there definitely was some variation in colours by then. See if we get the road, which we should. And I won't lie, I did struggle to keep it my speed controlled doing it on stream last time. Again, if you haven't watched my the rail tour video, the Welsh March rail tour video, there's a thing about I'll speak about trains that you didn't really always have that much affection for, but then when you spend some time around them, you do. 37s are a case in point. I was never a massive fan of 37s just because they were pretty much everywhere when I was younger. And it was more about what livery they were in. So if they were in BR Blue, I was not a fan of them. If they were in Triple Grey, Rail Freight, I loved them. If they were in Red Stripe, back in the day I wasn't that fussed. Loved them in Load Hall and Intercity. They were my two favourite. If I saw 37s in those, then I wanted to see them. If they weren't in those liveries, then I wasn't that fussed. Nowadays, I'm happy seeing a 37 in any livery. And it's not even like they're particularly rare. They're still pretty common all over the place, really. I'm not saying you're going to see one every day, but they're often on rail tours, ballast workings. There's still quite a few mainline certified 37s, and they've all got pretty decent liveries now as well. Got large logo rail freight, regional railways. I think there's one in preservation in Intercity, isn't there? Is that the Severn Valley? Not sure. That's gone yellow. Okay. So we probably don't want to be going much faster than about 30 down here, just to keep us in the yellows. I can imagine there's definitely been some hot breaks by the time trains have got to Bromsgrove, haven't there? In this day and age of dynamic braking, I bet it's a blessing. That looks yellow from here, actually. Let's put a bit more speed on. Let's take up to 40, because I think it's 40, then 15 into the sidings at the bottom here. Oh, he says keep it at 40. It's trickier than you think, just balancing it out just with the two locos. Oh, it's actually 30. We've got a little bit of grace there. Forty, 40, 30, then 15. And this is interesting, because when I was coming down here last time, I was like, why are we going left? And of course we're not. It's because it's got 3 indicators. We're still going as far right as possible. I'll probably end up having to come off the brakes pretty quickly down here, because when it goes flat again, we're just going to lose momentum massively. There we go, see? Oh, we were doing alright there, but that's the chipper back on now. Don't know if you can hear that or not. I hope the noise cancellation should take some of it out for you. Got to drive a first gen DMU up the Lickey now. Now that it's told me that Richard Fletcher actually said on the stream that some of them needed banking up there, so might get him to see if he'd do a banking scenario with one of the first gen DMU sets. That'd be quite cool. See, a nice short scenario that's just got a bit about it. It's a little bit, it's unusual, good fun, and doesn't take too long. Requirements, this isn't massive either. We'll pull it so we're behind the signal. Like we started. But I suppose back in these days this would have happened regularly throughout the day. I think the last train I remember seeing banked up the Lickey was one of the fuel trains, but I don't know if that's still happening or not. Somebody will let me know in the comments. Yeah, I know you're there, mate. You're all right. Alright, and guys, thank you very, very much for that. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Head over to alanthomsonsim.com for your latest and greatest train sim needs and this scenario. Heading over to Twitch on a Monday and Thursday night at the moment. Tends to be when we're doing the streams for a pub-style chat. So it's not for young children, but it is great if you like a couple of beers and a laugh and a talk about trains and some other adulty things. It's quite fun. So do head over and join us there Monday and Thursday over at Twitch. Link is in the description below. Once again, guys, thanks ever so much. Catch you next time.